Welcome back to today's video. I hope you are having a fantastic run up to Christmas, and today I'm bringing with you a tutorial that I should have brought 2 years ago at this point, and it is the tutorial for the reusable pullable winnable Christmas cracker. Now you may have seen I have this pattern for sale on my Etsy, and this was my original design, but this year it's gone through a bit of an upgrade, so now you no longer need a cardboard tube in the middle. It is all done with interfacing, so I thought I would share with you the pattern. I love the jingle, I love the bell, and I think the bell is a really great addition if you do not want to have a cracker snap. But of course I won't leave you hanging. We have a cracker snap in here if you want to use one. Hey, as demonstrated. So it still comes apart really easily. Now my original version used this really nice cable tie Velcro, and that is linked below. It's not an affiliate link if you want to use that, because it makes it really easy for toddlers and little ones to be able to pull apart. This version is made with the thick Velcro, and this is more suitable for older kids, but also if this is a Velcro that you have, I wanted these crackers to be really accessible for all. I didn't want you to have to go out and buy anything extra that you might not have sat around in your crafting space already. I'll have all the measurements of everything you need to cut out on the next second here. Make sure you pause it and then screenshot it. But you need your pretty fabric, your lining fabric. So for these ones, I have used the same fabric inside and out. And you need interfacing. So you have the option of this version here that has only got interfacing on the nice pretty outer fabric. And then these two here have interfacing on the lining fabric and the pretty fabric, and they make them so much more. They're just a little less floppy than this one here, but you can still fit in your reusable Christmas crown and a little gift and a joke, whatever you want. I would love if you like, comment, subscribe, share, and if you like this so long tutorial and you want to support me, you can get the PDF copy of both of these in the link below the video, or you can get them on Etsy if you want to buy from a more trusted platform. But let's crack on, and honestly, thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun dumping back into pattern design with this. Now that you have cut out all of your fabric for however many crackers you're making, I am making 3, 1 in each colour. You have all of your interfacing cut out. You want to then go and merge these. You are going to attach all your interfacing to your crackers. Now you have 2 options here. You have the option to interface every single piece, and that'll give you a really nice sturdy cracker that will bounce back, or you can interface only half the fabric, so the outer or the lining, and then you can put a cardboard tube in the middle of your cracker, and that will give you that sturdiness, and the ends will just be a little bit more floppy. So whatever you want to do, go ahead and do that. The next stage, once you have all of your interfacing on your fabric, is to sew your fabrics right sides together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now these are the cracker ends and this is the cracker middle. For the cracker ends, you're going to leave your turning gap facing towards the center, so here, and then for the cracker middle, you are going to leave your turning gap at the bottom or at the top, and you want your turning hold gap to be about 2 inches. So when you are sewing on the Velcro, you're going to go up, down, and then you're going to go up a 3rd time to close that hole. And when because that's only getting 1 piece of Velcro, and for the cracker middle, you're going to go up, down, across to close the hole, and then sew the other piece of Velcro up, down. I hope that makes sense. So go ahead and sew all of your pieces right sides together, and if you just use your clips to then mark where you are leaving your turning. just so you remember. All of our pieces sewn together, we are going to want to get some scissors, and we're going to snip all the corners, making sure that you do not cut into the thread. Then get your trusty turny tool, which is a pointy stick. Get your gap, and this is where you find out if you have sewn your gap too small or too big. I always err on the side of small because I do. Now, as you can see, I have not pressed this down very well at all, but that's because I bought cheap interfacing off Amazon. You're going to carefully turn this right sides out. Now, don't worry if it does all start coming apart. We will fix it. Like, this is an absolute wreck, right? But I promise you, it will come together. Nothing that our pointy stick and a good old press cannot fix. Okay, your pointy stick. Now, be really careful with the corners because I promise you, it is an absolute pain if you have to turn this back around. So, right, so you can't see, but inside, all of that interfacing is scrunched up. So, just gonna get my fingers in there and press it all out. Make sure it's going right into the corners. Now, I probably get a little bit impatient while pressing because I get a little bit bored and don't actually put it under the iron for long enough. So make sure that all the seams are nicely pressed out. And then put that to one side and then carry on with the rest. Now, I suspect I will have the same problem for all of them. So this is the one just with one layer of interfacing. This should be a bit easier. Now, once these are all turned, remember we are going to give these a really good press with the iron just to make them look nice and neat and beautiful. Now that we have pressed it, you can see that it's looking nice and neat. Now, this is easier to demonstrate if your fabric has right sides and wrong sides, but my one doesn't because I've used the same fabric. For your cracker middle bit, you're going to want to cut your Velcro the same length. So this is 7 inches. So for this, you want to use the soft side. So this Velcro, the other name for Velcro is hook and eye. The hook is the hard side. You hear that there? And then this is soft side. So this is the right side. You can turn this over. So on the wrong sides. So this is really important. You want the soft side of the Velcro, the eye, to be on the insides, on the wrong sides of your cracker. So if I show you with this one, you can't see the Velcro here. If I pull this out, the Velcro is here. So you have to have the Velcro in this middle piece. So when they connect together, it goes together nicely and correctly. I'm emphasizing this point because I have done this wrong way too many times. So, and I want this gap here along this edge to be 1/4 of an inch. So I will sew up and down across the bottom where the hole is, and then up and down again. So I'm sewing up both sides of the Velcro. And then for your cracker ends, you want the fabric on the outside, so you should be able to see this. So on the right sides. And again with this, I'm going up and then down one more time, right along this edge, top stitching, and you'll be top stitching that gap closed. So as you can see, you put this together, this will go on like that. And you want the hard side on the outer bit, because if you want to put on like something inside, like a cracker hat made out of velvet, you don't want it catching on this hard bit. So that's why the soft side goes in the middle. Now, when it comes to sewing, for the cracker ends, it really doesn't matter what colour thread you use, because you won't see it, because it'll be inside the cracker. But for the cracker middle bits, I would use a thread that matches the cracker. So for the green, for the cracker middle bits, because you're going to see the thread, I'd use a green thread to sew this down. And then for this, I'd use a beige coloured thread. Now, if you have little ones and you're making this pattern, I would chop this Velcro in half to make it easier to pull apart, because when you use the full 1/2 inch, it does become a bit more of a challenge to pull apart, and you really don't want to be hurting yourself or going flying across the room. Now, if you are using, say, a thread that you can see on the outer, on the middle bits, and you see it, why don't, if you're using the half size Velcro, I think a really nice feature would be to add on one of your decorative stitches, and I think that'll really just highlight, just add a little bit of a festive touch to your crackers. So the next stage is to go sew all of your bits behind down, and just double check that these are the hook bits and these are the eye bits just before, and make sure if your fabric, you have lining fabric, that this is what this should look like. Now, just before you go ahead and sew these, I just want to show you a few tips and tricks. So this is I've used the decorative stitch on here, and I just want to show you what that looks like. And obviously if I used a cream colour, this would really fade into the background. But having this stitch here makes this so much more durable. It's going to go through a lot of pulling when you're pulling them apart. If these are going to last you however many years, that is one option, is to do a nice decorative stitch. The other option is to use your machine's double stitch option. So my machine, it is 3 sets of lines, and I'll show you what that looks like just now. And so that gives you a really, really durable stitch. So when you are pulling these apart, the Velcro then shouldn't tear off, because if you're just doing one line of stitches, I do think that eventually that will start coming loose. The next step is turning this into crackers. We have the cracker ends here and the cracker middle bits here. Now this step is super, super important, because if you don't follow it correctly, it is going to go wrong. So for the cracker middle bits, so this bit with the 2 Velcros, you are going to fold right sides together so the Velcro is facing you, because you want the Velcro to be on the inside when you turn it right sides out. So this is what you want this middle piece to look like, because if you think about it, when we pull this apart, you can see the Velcro on these pieces, but you can't see the Velcro on the middle piece. So this is a cracker middle piece, so I want to see the Velcro when I'm folding it. Now, the cracker ends, you're going to fold it so you cannot see the Velcro. So you're folding it Velcro sides together. Because when you turn this right side, you want to be able to see the Velcro. Now I know this seems overkill, but when you start getting an autopilot making these, it's so easy just to make simple mistakes, and then you've got a lot of unpicking. And when you are sewing over this Velcro pieces here on all of these, I want you to go over the Velcro bits 2 or 3 times. I want to make sure that it is super, super secure and that it is not coming apart. And I want you to sew this with about a 1/8 of a seam allowance right along that edge. Now comes the fun bit of turning them right sides out now. And the Velcro really does help it keep its shape as well. Now comes the fun bit, and you're going to want and get your ribbon. So I'm just going to use whatever I have to hand here. So I would go and cut your ribbon to be at least 17 inches. I'd probably go for like 22 inches just to make it a bit more fun. And you want to go get your cracker crowns and your jokes as well. So this is a crown I made earlier, and you can see it matches, and this is one of the patterns I have. I have a video on how to draft your own. So I have some planner clips here, so you put those in as a little gift, or have some face wipes, some reusable face wipes, and we're just going to shove that right in the middle. Then we are going to put this together. So you want the seams to all line up. I've got my fingers right in there, and I'm folding this together a little bit just to get this in. And then pull it out, and then just stick it down and pull it out. I mean, it is a little bit fiddly, okay? Or you can put the contents in at the end. I mean, having it with this thick 1/2 inch Velcro does make it a little bit more of a challenge. It is easier to get in when it is the thinner Velcro, and I'll just show you it is a lot more challenging to pull these apart. Now let's attach our ribbon. You can also add on a little name tag onto these. You can make this in a plain fabric and embroider a name on the front if these are for your family and you spend Christmas with the same people every year. You can have these ends a bit longer if you want. You can make half-size versions. You can half the size up again and have super big ones. We like to hide Christmas crackers on the trees because I think they look cool. You can have them intermixed, so you could have a green center and red ends. And there you have it, your beautiful reusable Christmas crackers. Now I would say the ones with the double sets of interfacing looks like it holds its shape a little bit more nicely than the single layer, which is the red one here. But it makes it slightly easier to sew with the single layer, because you can always put a cracker tube in the middle. Now these are designed to be used without the tubes, so the middle bits are slightly shorter. So trying to get the cracker end in is slightly more challenging when the tube is inside. And then just push the tube into the middle and reposition your Velcro so you can't see it. And then tie your ribbons on. I'll show you in a minute. And then there we have it, your 3 crackers. Now these they feel more sturdy, right? But this one looks just as good. So if you have any questions, let me know down below. And if you wish to support the channel or myself, you can get a PDF copy of this pattern. It should be linked below this video and also on my Etsy shop. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and let me know how you get on with your crackers. So, just want to show you how to add in a cracker snap for the full experience of having the actual snap in your crackers. So, go ahead and put your cracker together. So if you've got a hat, roll it up, put it in, there we go. And then you are going to this all the way down. So I can feel this at both ends now. There we go. So you need 2 bits of tape, because this will not stay in without the tape, because it will just get pulled out. So make sure that it's even. We don't want to get accused of cheating here. Now this is why I made the original flare design, because it is slightly easier to stick these cracks inside, and I went with people possibly wanting to have the snaps over a perfect copy of Christmas crackers in the shop. But now you can get to decide of what version you want. Okay. Then all we have to do tie it back up. Now you have one reusable Christmas cracker with a cracker snap and a bell. Thank you very much for watching.